Within exponential functions, there is what is known as the natural exponential function, which is the inverse of the natural logarithm. And the natural exponential function is generally in the form f of x equals e to the power x. Now, not to be confused, e is a number, but it's an irrational number. And given that it is an irrational number, we use the place value e to represent it, and we treat it as though it is a number. So if you were to input into your calculator e to the power something, or whatever that power is, it will render a result. So we will look at an example where we are working with the base e. So similar to our first example, we are asked to evaluate the function h, which is e to the power -3x. So we will return back to our graphing calculator to evaluate this for the 4 given x values. So we're back to the graphing calculator. So once again, we need to input our function into the calculator. So I'm back at the y equals. The base e, again, this can be confusing for some because there's a couple of different places where some students will locate e. Don't confuse it with the second function e, which is above the division. Again, as I said, the natural exponential function is the inverse of the natural logarithm, which you will learn about in the next lesson. So the base e, or e to the power x, is just above that ln key. So we need the second function once again. And you'll notice that it already places the power there for us. So we don't have to raise it to a power. It's already there. The calculator recognizes that we are inputting an exponential function. In this case, the power is -3x. Again, I didn't mention this in the first example. The variable key is always next to the alpha key, and it's always going to give you the variable x. We hit enter. And my table settings are already set to ask, so that is just fine. So now I'm returning to my table of values. And again, it's clear. It's clear because I've gone in and deleted the previous values. If you need to delete a value, so if I were to have a value of 2 here, typically the clear button will not work here. Here, you would use delete. You hit delete, it deletes that value. So the first value was 1/3. Second value, 1.5. Third value, -1. And final value, negative. And the pi key is located right over here above the exponent key. So second pi. It's much, rather than putting 3.14, it's much more precise if you input the actual value, -pi. The calculator will convert it into a decimal. So you could see that we have calculated and evaluated for these 4 x values. And once again, we record our results onto our table of values, making sure to round our answers off to 3 decimals.